The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 11th day of February 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman. She's Mia Chambray, and Simone Vaughn will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy Tuesday to you, Mia.
Oh, Jamel, happy Tuesday to you as well. My goodness, I have a little frog in my throat. I haven't really spoken to anybody yet this morning.
It happens. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Yeah, my husband was away for a little bit, but he's back now, so everybody's happy in our house now. Because we're a really tight-knit crew. Yeah, we're really tight, like the three of us. So yeah.
I must say, see, I'm getting better at this, audience. I love your colors, like it's giving spring.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this is actually by a South African designer called Asha 11. So it's all made with sustainable material. It's all hand printed, and it's all like if it went into a landfill, it would biodegrade in like 60 days or something. Yeah. So there you go.
I believe the late Stuart Haywood would be proud of you.
He would.
Yeah, he'd be proud of you.
He would. Yeah, thank you. I like your polo shirt.
Wasn't that just a forced compliment? I think this is a sweater polo. I think a sweater polo.
Very nice, very nice.
You know, something you just pull out the drawer. Just looking like a Bermuda bus driver back in the day. But anyway, hey, David Michael Wilson. He says, "Terrific Tuesday, all, and a terrific Tuesday to Mr. Wilson as well." And we say greetings to everyone and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Free Democratic Movement candidate for Constituency 2, Quinton Sherlock Jr. onto the show. Looking forward to the convo. If you know Quinton and you follow him, he's got a great story. His entire existence is really given so much to young people. So I'm really interested in how he plans to take that work into the political arena. The Daily Play is a remember when. I don't know if we have a question yet, Mia. So we're going to have to pick up something. We'll have to figure something out between now and then. You know what? I think we got something. Yeah, that's what we do.
Good.
Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. We've got Mark Arthur C. Phillips. He says, "Good morning, Blood." We've got Kenton Trott. "Good morning, TDH family." Karen Simmons, "Good morning, TDH community," and good morning to you, Mark, Kenton, and Karen. And Suzanne Ingham, of course, she says, "Awesome, thriving Tuesday, Jamel, Mia, and Simone. 1 week left of polo tricks. Polo tricks. I think she meant polo. Polo tricks.
Polo tricks. I like that.
Very Oh, sorry. Your hair is very long, Mia, she means.
Yes.
It looks nice out. Jamel, you look absolutely great. I appreciate you. I got my hair did yesterday, too. I mean, he just took an hour to do whatever he did, but you're in dark but look great. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. And Sandra Dorm, she says, "Good morning from Maddox and Sandra, and a great morning to you as well." Well, let's jump into the conversation. It's time for the discussion, folks, and we are so grateful that we have partners in our community who support us in having these community conversations. So let's give thanks to them.
The Daily Discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Alrighty. Thanks again to Titan Express and Secure Trucking for ensuring that we can continue to have these most important community discussions and conversations with you. Question of the morning. So last week, a lot has been made. It's just so crazy and weird to me, Mia, that when one side feels attacked, they call for political maturity and say, you know, let's put the attacks aside. I'll give you an example, real life. John Seymour is a candidate for the One Bermuda Alliance in Constituency 16, the one I was kicked out of. Yeah, right, because I can't vote. But anyway, that one. He basically made a social media post claiming his opponent, Michael Weeks, and I believe Jason Wade, I could be wrong, are lazy. PLP, many people defending the PLP and Mr. Weeks and Mr. Wade basically said that was dirty politics. A few days later, at the rally for the Bermuda Progressive Labour Party Central, the current Minister of Education, the Honorable Diallo Rabane, referred to independents as simps. I just don't get it. If it's wrong when one person does it, you know, I think it was Dame Jennifer Smith, you know, it was wrong what they did to her, and it would be wrong doing it to another person. That's a person who moves with a conscience. But I think it's important to remember the defense of Michael Weeks. Now, let me be very clear. I was in the room when Michael Weeks became the candidate for 16 after the passing of the late Nelson Bascom. I've been very public about I was in favor of Lou Matthews, Dr. Lou Matthews, over Michael Weeks at the time. But when he became the candidate, I was very supportive of Mr. Weeks. I was asked by some people, is it true? Is he lazy? I said, I cannot tell you if he's lazy because I don't live in Bermuda. Right. But when I did, lazy is not a term I would have used to define him. Did he fulfill his words? I went on a radio show back in 2012, and I think I may have referred to him as a liar because of something that happened with conscription. I don't think he kept his word with that at the time. But lazy would not have been a term I would have used to define Mr. Weeks then. However, things happen, times change. I don't think, and I could be wrong because I don't know John Seymour personally, but the defense, and this is what goes back, I believe it was Aaron Hill. I don't want to be wrong, but I believe it's Aaron Hill. And people have been saying we have to find a balance or a difference between those who canvass well and those who have the intellectual capacity to understand corporate governance and pass critical and important legislation and policies, right? Yeah. Why am I saying this? I'm going to say I think Michael Weeks is a good person. But when I spoke to some constituents, because I couldn't answer, and I asked, well, is he lazy? I got some cursing about him. I had, it wasn't good.
Oh gosh, okay.
And I said, well, they said that he has weekly clinics. Oh. Ain't nobody got time to attend the weekly clinics. We've called him, and he doesn't even answer, to the point my son has called him. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Son doesn't live in the constituency. Then there were other things where they all say they're working hard because they go and put a little photo up or have a clinic in the constituency or go visit some elderly folks or show up to a birthday party or what does working hard look like? And that's the question this morning, audience. How do you define working hard as a politician? Like, how do you define a hardworking politician? What does that look like? Because I'm going to be honest with you. There's a certain politician who's always posting pictures of themselves with PLP shirts, standing up on the side of the road on Saturdays, like visible in their community, like their constituency. Mm-hmm. And all that tells me is this person's stroking their ego. It doesn't tell me that they're working hard for me.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to go first. What does a how do I define a hardworking politician?
Mm-hmm.
A hardworking politician is someone who represents the interest of their constituents.
Yeah.
And what I mean represents the interest of their constituents. A Dale Butler, in my opinion, was a hardworking politician. A lot of people forget why Mr. Butler was no longer a minister. It was the Wigger situation where his constituents were not happy about that situation, right? And spoke up about it. A hardworking politician isn't afraid to go against the party whip and the grain.
Yeah.
A hardworking politician knows that it takes more than just canvassing, but it takes the ability to speak up on policies and legislation that are concerning your constituents. A hardworking politician doesn't attend the funerals of those slain in their constituency, but they do the work to help prevent those individuals being slain. A hardworking politician doesn't have time to have weekly clinics because they're out busy doing actual work. A hardworking politician doesn't necessarily create WhatsApp groups and just communicate with people in that capacity. Hardworking politicians are bruised, folks. They take risks. That's what a hardworking politician is to me. And I think we need to define what a hardworking politician is and stop allowing politicians, regardless of what side they're on, we have to stop allowing them to tell us who is hardworking and what hardworking looks like. So, question of the morning, I said a lot. How do you define a hardworking politician, and do you believe most politicians work hard?
Well, Jamal, you've given us a lot of food for thought. We've got Quinton Trott here who's saying politicians should be creating policies, procedures, laws, and guidance to make Bermuda better. I agree with that, and that reflects back on what you said as well. But I also have to say, just to be a little bit of a devil's advocate, Jamal, and I do agree with what you've said, and I agree wholeheartedly, but also you have to really manage people's expectations, because some people's version of what hardworking is, two people standing side by side, their versions of hardworking might be different. Mr. Weeks may be doing those, weekly neighborhood meetings because it's the only time he has to fit in his schedule, so that he wants to make sure that he's available for people, and showing himself every week is a way of doing that. So everyone knows they can expect him at 2:00 at wherever place, and then they can come and meet him, air their grievances, and then the actions are occurring. Now, maybe that's where the break is starting. So potentially, maybe he's meeting everybody, but the rubber then isn't meeting the road afterwards. So as you said, there was a constituent who then had to step in and get their son to call him and try to get some action to happen.
I don't want to, honestly, I don't want to stick on Michael Weeks. I don't want to, because again, I don't know. Those are just opinions, but okay. I want us to focus on what it looks like to us, because if we don't, then it's going to be, we're attacking one individual. This for me is I'm going to pick on Michael Dunkley.
Okay.
Michael Dunkley, like him, love him or not, the guy was a hardworking politician.
True.
Probably one of the hardest working. Some may say he had the privilege to work that hard because he owned a company in the area where his constituency was. Yeah. But not only did he work hard in canvassing, he literally spoke up regularly in the House. He posted things that his constituents were interested in. Wayne Furbert, another one of the hardest working politicians, right? There are hardworking people. I don't want people to think I'm saying that people don't work hard. And I'm saying, Mia just made a great point. That was accurate. This is my version of hard work.
Yes.
It's up to each individual. What I'm simply saying is up to each individual to define their hard work. Now, let me go to this. Headley and Swan says Chris Famous too is hard working politician. Again, that depends on how you define it. Chris is very much out in his constituency. But is he in the room when the policy and legislation, is he really represented? I love Chris as an individual. I do. But for me, no, I don't think he's hardworking enough, because consciously I would expect him to be more vocal against the leadership, knowing how his constituents feel. So I would be disappointed in him if he was my representative, simply because I don't think he's going to take those risks.
Okay, I agree, Jamal. But do you think that some people, as you stated in the beginning, some people have really great charisma on the doorstep? They're really great retail politicians, but then they don't have the skills to actually evoke the legislature to stand up in the House. They don't have the skills to do it. That is not in their wheelhouse. So are our expectations set too high for every, our expectations set too high? Should we leave some of the legislation for people who are more experienced, or they've got, maybe that's what they've done in their career, they're lawyers or judges, or they're more in that regard. So maybe you're privately saying things and having your opinion in, but standing up in the House may not be part of you just might not be so strong in that setting. But then going out in your constituency, you might be excellent and you might be really hardworking. But when you get to the House, you may not feel as comfortable, or you may not have as much to contribute. That's just a thought.
Well, I think that's the point, though. That's the absolute point. It's what you just said. The point is, we have great canvassers, we have great community people, but is that how we're going to define hardworking politician when there are key pieces of legislation and policies that we need in Bermuda that are not being passed? Like, do we have to ask ourselves, are these hardworking people the people that we can trust with our economy? And I'm talking about either side. We have to ask ourselves, are these the people that we can trust to get education right? Are these the people we can trust to get healthcare right? That's what I think, when we discuss how do you define a hardworking politician? Well, actually, no one's answered the question. Yes or no? Do you believe most politicians work hard? Truthfully, my definition of hard, I think most politicians work hard to get what they want out of it. And I think it's summed up right here. Nicole Hessel says they work hard to get our vote. After that, it's just, I think that's it. They work hard on maintaining their position. Not all, but most. Senator Durham says, then they should be then should they be running or representing? If that's the case, the job is not for you.
I agree completely. Richard Scott says, the hard work of a politician is usually shown through the testimony of those in their constituency. Couldn't agree with that more. Absolutely. No,
Kia Vene BDA, she says, with my definition of hard work, no. So, well, what's your definition of hard work? I'd like to know. And I want to go to Lavette Pemberton said, hard work pays off, show in your result. Well, it should pay off. I agree, Ms. Pemberton. I definitely agree. It should. Got anything else from the comments, Mia?
Yeah. Well, I have this one from, I love Suzanne. Suzanne, I love you. Awesomely stated, Jamal. I'm electing you and voting for you. Vote Jamal Hartman. You are hired.
don't do that. Trust me. You don't want to vote for me. Quinton Trutz says, however, I believe all our politicians must understand what the role is. They should all be able to advocate for their constituents in the House. And Suzanne Ingham says, Omar Dill, Mr. King, Rakai Emery are out about, seen and accessible at any time. Renee Webb is vocal for the people. I think it's a combination of things. And I think, to Mia's point earlier, you can't be one thing and claim you're hardworking, in my opinion. You have to be accessible. You have to represent, as Richard Scott said, if you're making promises to people, you got to deliver. But when you're in that House, it's like HR. There's been this running argument about human resources at corporations over the last decade or so, that HR is not there to represent employees. They're there to protect the company. And I think that's translated to politics in this respect. The electorate must remind their representative, their MP, that you are voted by me and they're to represent me. You are not HR to protect the party or its leader. You are there to represent me. And I think, if anything, I haven't read the PLP platform, but if there's not a right to recall an MP there, then I think we should have some questions. We cannot continue to move forward in politics without the right to recall. Now, if you remember what happened in California a couple years ago, there was a right to recall against Gavin Newsom, the governor. It failed. But just having that option, and again, this goes for all politicians. I can't say that because I'd be like the Ellerbay, and I can't call them bums. But there are not good politicians on all sides. There are people who get into it for the wrong, and just as much, there are great people and politicians on both sides. What we need, and this is why people keep calling for a coalition, Mia, what we need is the best of the best. Tiffany Painter said that. We want the best 36 people. How do we get there? We get there by defining what a hardworking politician is to each and every one of us and ensuring that those people who are elected stay true, to what we believe it should look like and be.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And Michael Daniels says, there is a disconnect between what's happening in the House and the understanding of the people. Can we overcome this with part-time politicians? That's a great point, Michael. I couldn't agree more. I was thinking to myself, I always try to put myself in the shoes of people before I start pointing fingers. And I'm thinking, if I'm me, if I was going to be a politician, okay, I'm a business owner, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I also have, I also work part-time as a singer as well. Would I have time to, would I have time to really be totally and 100% available? Now, I know we talked about this in different shows in regards to maybe having less in the House and raising the payment. So maybe I don't know, because you can't, the expectations of people, the time is so limited as well. Now, I know you're out there, you're asking for people's vote, you're saying you're okay to do the job. You're very confident in that moment that you can do the job. You want people to vote for you. Maybe you're really interested in the salary as well. That might be something that is why you're doing it, or you're just doing it for the love of Bermuda. You're doing it to serve your community. But many people are time poor. So what are we going to do here? Do we want people to work really, really, really hard and accommodate them in regards to payment? And is that how we're going to get the best people and see people really working hard where they don't have to split their time between work and family, etc.? I think Doug DeCuto touched on that yesterday during your interview with him, that, he's going to have to
conversation with him. Yes.
During your conversation with him yesterday. I'm sorry. During your conversation with him yesterday, which, by the way, was wonderful. You did an awesome job. But he said, if I don't win at the polls, I'm going to have to reflect back on with my family. It's been a huge time sacrifice. I'm going to have to look at my career. And I thought that was actually really honest and really open, and gave quite an insight into what these politicians are kind of going through. They're trying to juggle a million things at once. And I could see that being very difficult.
Yeah. I'm glad you took that position, because no one here is saying that it's easy.
Yes.
Mia, I'm going to use her as an example since she's in the room with me, is entrepreneurship's not easy, but it's something that she's chosen to do. There are people who may criticize her as an entrepreneur and the like, but that comes with the territory. She can do two things. She can try to improve or potentially go out of business. I think that's how it has to be with politics. I don't think that all politicians are bad. I think how they go about the job really defines, who they are. We need to be better. We need to manage our expectations, but also I understand managing our expectations, but that goes back to the conversation we had a couple of weeks ago about the caliber of people getting involved. It's important that we have the best caliber of people. And what does that look like? That's going to look different to us all as well, because do we want all business people? Do we want blue collar people? Do we want educators? Do we want people, everyday people who can relate to the majority of the people? We define that. And I guess the point of the conversation this morning is our government should be a reflection of what we desire for our community, our families, and ourselves. We've got to we'll go through these final two comments. We'll bring Simone going in for the Daily Hour news break. Richard Scott says, in my view, if one is truly called to the arena of politics, the work isn't really hard. It's fulfilling one's purpose, and one is built with the glory and the pain of the purpose. Indeed, just like anything else, like entrepreneurship, like it's your calling. hey, there's going to be some bad days, there's be some good days, and you know what? If you don't get it right, there will be no more days.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. With that, Pemberton says politicians need family support, teamwork. Absolutely.
I agree.
Like Mr. Dakota said yesterday. And she also added, get your home in order first before others. Absolutely, definitely agree. All right, let's thanks again to Titan Express as well as Secure Trucking for ensuring that we can have these daily discussions with you folks. If you can do us one big favor, give us a like if you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Instagram. Give us a like, a love, follow, share. Make sure your family, your friends, your colleagues, even the ones you don't like, have access to these community discussions brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. We'll, got Simone coming up with the news break in a few.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Good morning.
Oh, hello. How are you, madam?
I'm doing great on this triumphant Tuesday.
Ooh.
I'm glad you're feeling great, but I'm gonna share it on with everybody now. So prior to the show, folks, I said to Simone, I said, I was gonna reach out to her sister because I took some melatonin last night, so I was sleeping for 9. So I woke up at 1 o'clock. I saw a text from Simone. I was like, what the heck does this mean? Right? So, look, you all know I'm an old soul, right? Like I have a 23, 24-year-old sister. Maya's young, Simone's young. I'm like, I'm not as hip. I mean, I may look 18, 19, but I'm not as hip as you all think. So I was like, what does IKR stand for? So instead of reaching out to anyone at that hour, I said, let me Google IKR. I was actually disappointed in myself that I didn't know that. Hold on. No, we're not going to laugh at me. What does IKR stand for, audience? I want to see if the audience knows, because I don't really know what IKR. I know what IDK stands for. That's I don't know. But IKR took me for one. And so between now and April, I'm going to do my best to become a bit more hip and learn some of the what generation are you guys, like Z? Or
Yeah, I'm Gen Z, yes.
okay. I'm gonna try to get more Gen Z-ish, right, and hippish. And so hopefully my little sister, I'll be like, yo, sis, it's your bro, like, and whatever lingo you guys use. How's that?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna help me out?
I approve. Yeah. I'll give you some pointers. I'll make sure I spell the acronym out after I say it, so you can get everything you need.
Being embarrassed in the audience, though. I mean, here Renee, she must be Gen Z too. She says, I know, right? Zena must be on Gen Z, I know, right? Karen, she's got children. She knew, of course. She's got children that Gen Z. Okay. Charmaine Richardson. So I was the only one. Shamari Sky, brother, you serious? All right. So I guess I'm on this island by myself, Diana. See, Polly Rich. Polly Rich and I, we're both like the same age. So I mean, we're both about 38. So we didn't know that. And she's older than me, Zena Trust. Okay. You know what, Simone? What you got in the news? This is enough. I don't need any of this bad energy.
Alrighty. So today's Daily Hour News Break is brought to you by People's Pharmacy. So without further ado, let's get into it. In recent events, the Bermuda Police Service had 2 suspects give them a run for their money. Here's the story.
Suspects have been arrested after a chase ensued Friday evening. Officers followed 2 motorcycle riders, noticing their dark clothing and that the light of the motorcycle was turned off while riding. Checks on the bike revealed that the individuals detained were in possession of a reported stolen bike. 2 police vehicles received minor damage due to a collision during the chase. However, no one was injured.
Oh, I haven't heard of a police chase in Bermuda for a while.
No.
I'm glad that nobody on the side was injured though.
Yeah, but hey.
IKR.
Oh, there she goes.
Love that, Mia.
She goes.
I know, right?
Let me get my book of Gen Z acronyms.
So, in other news, the education community has had an upset. Footage is courtesy of TNN. Here's the story.
Sandy Secondary Middle School was forced to close yesterday due to a shortage of teachers. This closure comes after teachers demand change in Bermuda's education system and the call for the removal of the Minister of Education, Diallo Rabane. An email was sent out to parents and guardians apologizing for the inconvenience, promising to provide updates as soon as they could. The Ministry of Education is actively working with Sandy's Middle School to resolve the issues that led to the school's closing.
You know, you all may disagree, but I sympathize with the Minister Rabane. I know it's easy to say education is in a horrible state, but you know what they say? Mia said earlier, putting ourselves in other people's shoes. That was a ministry that was always going to be so hard to fix, and it's going to take a generation to get right. I'm not taking his side.
Yeah.
And no matter who took that position, it's a tough one. And I think this is one where if I'm the minister, I'm saying, you know what? That education authority needs to happen overnight because I don't want to be managing this situation. I'm not the expert. Let the experts do this. Now, I don't know where he stands on that, but I do sympathize in the respect that this problem is so much bigger than the individual. So hopefully the students, which, you know, they're the most important in this, they're not losing what they should be gaining with these teacher shortages. Unfortunately, it seems like they are.
Yeah. So in the world of spelling bees, however, Bermuda has something excited to look forward to. Footage is also courtesy of TNN. Here's the story.
The Bermuda Spelling Bee Finals competition is scheduled to occur on March 8th. Children from the ages of 9 to 13 from participating schools in the Eastern, Western, and Central regions recently completed a round of semifinal competitions. First, second, and third place winners from each region are students from Warwick Academy, Heriting Sound Primary, Delwood Middle School, Summersfield Academy, Saltus Grammar School, and Dalton E. Tucker Primary School. The Bermuda Spelling Bee's mission is for that all students participating to have the opportunity to develop cognitive, literacy, and life skills that reach into all forms of communication.
I don't remember a spelling bee when I was in school, and that was probably the only thing I was good at, spelling.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you're a good speller, you guys? That's great. I'm a terrible speller.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I judge people in the spelling. I'm one of those people. You send me a text, and I'll be like, you send voice notes. It ain't working out if you typing. I'm that guy. But no, I actually like spelling bees. I wasn't the greatest reader of the word, but I could definitely spell it.
Oh, amazing. I think it's so wholesome.
Yeah, very much so. My favorite movie growing up was Akilah and the Bee. I don't know if anybody knows that. Yeah, I swore I was going to be in a competition someday, but that didn't happen. But I did excel in school in spelling, so that's good enough for me.
Okay, somebody's asking where and what time of the finals. Do you know?
They haven't released it yet, since it's in a couple of weeks, right? Yeah. So once they release it, I'll definitely give an update on that.
Okay, and real quickly, just want to address. Sanchez said, "Jamal, I disagree." Well, what's new, sister? People missed that part of the show. But she said he really needs to listen to her. I'm not sure what she disagrees with. I said I sympathize. I didn't say I defend or agree with the minister or the PLP's take on education. My point is I sympathize because it was always going to be one of the hardest ministers to do. He's not an educator. And I also said that I believe that this is at that time, if I were him, I would be pushing for an authority because I would humbly understand that I cannot fix this problem as minister. So that's my full comment. But I look forward to disagreeing with you on there, Sandra. And Charles Jaffers, regarding that story, he said, correct me if I'm wrong, but there can't be any ministerial changes before the election. I don't think so, Charles. Yeah. And then Richard Scott said, take the politics out of education and not the technical office educators run education. Absolutely. And that's what I said. I agree. Yeah.
Well, in other good news, someone is celebrating their 60th birthday in a very special way. Here's what Carlton Crockwell plans to do for his special day.
Carlton Crockwell, CEO and chairman of Security Associates and pastor at Victory Kingdom Worship Center, will be celebrating his 60th birthday with a fundraiser to support the homeless. The walk will take place on Saturday, February 15th and Sunday, February 16th, beginning at 5 a.m. Participants will journey from Dockyard to St. George's and back to Dockyard. As of the 31st of December in 2023, Home recorded Bermuda's homeless population as 811. Crockwell believes that the walk, with the fundraising goal of $5,000, will help alleviate the burden on the many agencies, individuals, and organizations working tirelessly to improve the lives of those currently unhoused. This isn't just a walk, it's a heartfelt opportunity for us to live out our Christian faith, demonstrating love, compassion, and service to those in need, said Crockwell. I am convinced that together we can inspire others to rally around this crucial cause.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. So, for those needing a weather update today's weather, we can expect windy conditions and a few rain showers throughout the morning. Today's high temperature will reach 67 degrees and the low temperature will reach 62. The wind and the rainy conditions will make the temperature outside feel around 61 degrees.
All right. Thank you, Simone. Mia, do you have any days of the year for us?
I do, actually. Today is Get Your Guitar Out Day.
Sorry.
No, I'm laughing because I actually thought, I didn't realize it was a real guitar. I thought it was like a what's this? Broom. I thought
No. This is Gunner's guitar for everybody. So you know, this is guitar. Yeah, so it's Get Your Guitar Out Day. So do we have any musicians in the audience? If we do, we need to have a the Daily Hour jam. We need to have a jam session.
You know,
I'll bring my ukulele.
Yeah, okay, ukulele. There you go. And if so, let us know, audience, if any of you play instruments, what you play, or if you sing. Or...
Hold on. Is a ukulele the thing that Stevie Wonder plays?
No, that's a harmonica.
What's
ukulele is like a small,
a little guitar. Yeah.
Oh, and Mia, do you know how to play the guitar?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Oh, so you gonna play us a little something right now?
Well, now this is actually very untuned, I have to say. My guitar tech is currently sleeping because he just got in.
That's her husband, folks.
I don't tune my own guitar, okay, Jamal?
We've got to run, but I didn't get. I guess I don't have a political joke this morning, you guys.
Oh
no!
I mean, let me think of one. Okay, I probably done this already. What? Okay. What's the only thing worse than a bad politician?
You definitely did that.
Ooh.
Did I?
Wait, hold on.
What's something worse than a bad politician?
I would remember the answer.
A politician that you can't find.
The only thing worse than a bad politician is a politician who tells the truth. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay.
We've got Quinton, Sherlock, Jr., FDM coming up after this, folks. You don't want to miss this, Simone. You have a wonderful day.
All righty. Have a good one, guys.
All right, Simone Vaughn, folks. Don't go anywhere. We've got Quinton, Sherlock, Jr. coming up. Hey, Gunner, what's up?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, he wants to play his guitar for the audience. He wants to play his guitar for the audience. Gunner's he might give you all a show after, folks. Stick with us. 2 minutes, 42 seconds. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talk, and DeWalt. The list goes on.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you learning throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
The One Bermuda Alliance is committed to securing Bermuda's future. We believe the island can return to the prosperous place it once was for everyone. The only way to do this is through fiscal responsibility and creating opportunities for residents to thrive. We envision a Bermuda where our young people are valued and will want to build their futures. We are a team of diverse Bermudians who bring a depth of expertise across industries. We have what it takes to turn Bermuda around. Vote OBA on February 18th.
Bermuda Trivia, the Black History Edition, is now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com or email contact@bermudatrivia.com to learn more.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Mia Chambray, I'm Jamal Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Hey, next Tuesday, this time, the polls would have been open. I know it's early voting yesterday and today, I believe, but the polls, everyone who's eligible and registered to vote, you will have the opportunity between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m., I believe,
Yes.
to go and enter the popularity contest. Yeah, you will have that opportunity. And in saying that, I believe this week we have political candidates on all this week, and we have the second candidate from constituency 2 coming on right now. We've got Quinton Sherlock Jr. From the Free Democratic Movement. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome. Let's go. Show it up. All right, calm down. He don't know you like that. Sir, how are you? Oh, you're on mute. You got to unmute yourself so they can hear you. You want to make sure the audience hears you.
There we go.
How are you, sir? How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks.
Yeah. Real quickly, I must ask you, Mia bought out a guitar. She said it's guitar day. So, and she asked the audience, does anyone, play an instrument? Do you have any musical genius in you?
In a previous life, I played the saxophone, the alto sax.
Wow.
Oh, this is Kenny G in the house, brother.
I was going to say Lisa Simpson, but okay. That's awesome.
Junior, but no, I'll say this before we get to the conversation. One of my biggest regrets is I always had a love for music, but never, ever paid attention enough to learn music. And I always wanted to learn how to play an instrument. So for those of you who had the opportunity, I envy you. That's it. Look, Mr. Sherlock, you have burned your name in the political arena. But before we get into the meat of the conversation, just tell the audience a bit about your background and what it is that you do.
In terms of what I presently do, I've been back on the island about 2 years, and I've been engaged with teaching GED courses at the Care Learning Center under Dr. Nalitha Butterfield. I've been also engaged in teaching GED at the prison facilities with incarcerated individuals, both at Westgate and at their co-ed correctional facility. Outside of that, I'm also a golf instructor. In the last 4 or 5 years, I've been affiliated with the David Ledbetter golf instruction brand, which is actually like the top 2, top 3 golf instruction brand in the world, and really kind of finding my way within that space and building my portfolio, if you will, my resume in terms of being a top golf instructor here in Bermuda, and to kind of go along with the project that I've been engaged with most recently in Ghana, West Africa.
Mm-hmm. And I want to touch on something before we go on. I think one of the things that we've been encouraged to do as young people, Mia has done it, you've done it. I am kind of not fulfilled it yet, but you've left your home of Bermuda to go and live elsewhere, and then you've returned home. And I just want to, you mentioned Ghana, West Africa. How has that experience empowered you to actually want to give back through care in Bermuda and other ways? Like, how did that empower you, that experience there?
Well, it really kind of allowed the idea to hit home that, that I can make a difference, and that, the ability of taking an idea or vision and making it turn into reality through dedication and perseverance. In Ghana, there are a lot of places or spaces where you can make an impact. I kind of assessed what my strengths were, also what my background was, even in Bermuda before moving to Ghana. And then I took my strengths and made myself an asset in the community, in the environment where I found myself, and basically was able to kind of introduce the young people and the people in general in our community to a whole new world, so to speak. I was in a village where in 2015, the young people didn't even know who Tiger Woods was. But now, since I've been in Bermuda, I have young people that I trained and introduced to golf and helped them through their education, and now finished high school, now teaching other children in that village how to play golf. And in coming back, the idea of helping those that may be kind of in the fringes is kind of what I've been about here in Ghana. And being a care just kind of seemed like a natural fit. For whatever reason, it seems as though I have an ability to make the connection with the young people, and sometimes young people who have a hard time in the more traditional settings. So I just give thanks, use my strengths as to the best of my ability.
Indeed. And thank you for sharing that. Because again, we always taught, like, Bermuda Small, go grow, go learn the world, and being able to do that, but also give back and I guess put yourself in a community that you're not used to, and they're not used to you. They probably never heard of a Bermudian before you went there, right?
Right.
Correct.
No, it's interesting, and thank you for returning to the community. And with your return, you've decided to throw your name in the political arena, and run in constituency 2. Why politics, and why that constituency?
Well, why politics? I mean, ultimately, it's about making a difference, yeah? And as it is, the premier called the election as and when he did. And I just thought that this was an opportunity and a good time for me, even in terms of the transitions and other things that I'm going through, to try to be the change that I feel our community so desperately needs. We all know about the idea of being perceived as kind of an armchair quarterback and sitting on the outside and criticizing. But it was the prime opportunity to kind of bring about the change. Part of the reason even why I had moved to Ghana was because people may not know, but I had quit my job at Bermuda College as a lecturer and was pursuing my passion of golf. A friend of mine had put in a response in RFP to be able to take over the Ocean View, but for whatever reason, that wasn't accepted. So it was just about, from there, me looking for a new challenge, and my new challenge was my experience in Ghana, West Africa. And so now we've gotten that program to a point where it's somewhat sustainable, and me being in Bermuda is directly linked to making the program in Ghana sustainable. So it was also being in Bermuda and identifying what my next challenge is going to be. And with the election being called, I think that the preparation and everything, my actual academic training, my work and life experience has really prepared me to be able to serve my community.
And Mia, before you go real quickly, audience, if you have any questions or comments, please send them through. We'll get through as many questions and comments you may have for Mr. Sherlock. Go ahead, sorry, man.
Well, Quinton, welcome back to Bermuda, first of all. We're so lucky to have such a wonderful Bermudian come back and give so much to the community. Now, you thought with the election coming up, you thought maybe you'd throw your hat to the ring. But why did the FDM appeal to you over other political parties or running as an independent? What was it about the FDM that really spoke to you?
Well, what I found in the FDM were like-minded individuals. ultimately, I found that like-minded individuals we were able to put forth a united front and able to put forth policies that we can collectively stand on in order to kind of get the island to move in a better direction. I myself, I was a former member of the PLP. I was a former branch chair of the PLP, but my family have always and only voted PLP. But personally, within myself, we want to kind of see the country heading in a different direction. As it is, we haven't heard anything from the existing opposition, be it the OBA, who've been in that position to be able to hold our leaders accountable. But for whatever reason, we haven't necessarily seen that. And with regards to the independence movement, like I said, I found more like-minded persons within the FDM, and I can appreciate that as being a part of the FDM. It also allows me to be able to better present what I stand for and what we stand for collectively to try to impact change on the island.
And the other part of Neil's question, why constituency 2? Sorry.
Right. Yes, I wrote that down. I didn't answer that. Correct. So why constituency 2? One thing is that Bermuda is a small jurisdiction, and so the idea was about finding is about getting involved and giving back. And so no matter where you run, ultimately you have the potential to have impact island wide. So my mother's side of the family are actually from St. George's, so I have roots in St. George's. My uncle is Clarence Toppins Parfitt, he has the most wickets in the Cup Match Classic. My great-grandfather was Bernard Hutzel, who was a very popular swimming instructor in St. George's. And in fact, until this day, my relatives, my cousins, continue to reside in the pilot Jimmy Darrow house. So I'm actually a direct descendant of pilot Jimmy Darrow. So my history, my family roots are very much embedded in the St. George's story. Beyond that, I'm also on the verge of some potential business interest in that community. And so the idea was that as I was already pursuing my business interest in St. George's, and then an election was called, one could be of the opinion that, I kind of quote unquote, I have mine, so to speak, if I'm able to kind of develop a successful business. But with what I see, everything going on around me, it was like, well, do I want to be okay for myself, but then potentially sit by and watch things around me kind of go in an unhealthy direction, or go ahead and get knee deep in the community where you are hoping to have a business prospect, but also get embedded in the community to help the entire community and everyone around us kind of move forward. My personality and my character is such that if I do things, I generally have a tendency to go all the way. So it just kind of really fit with who I am as a person to really fully immerse myself in the process of change.
That's fantastic. And, thank you for sharing your kind of historical background with the PLP. We really appreciate that. And it really does illuminate kind of where you've been and where you're going. But where do you believe that the PLP government has gone wrong? And what will you and the FDM do to fix things here on the island?
All right, great question. So,
sorry, two-parter.
No, that's cool. So the thing for me, I oftentimes relate it to having not seen a relative or family member for, let's say, 5 or 10 years for a period of time. And because you haven't seen the day-to-day transitions of change that happens, when you do see that family member again, you're like, wow, look at you. You've really changed. You've put on weight. You've gained weight. You've done this or the other. And for me, that was my experience in returning back to the island, that, wow, this island has really changed. And unfortunately, some of the change hasn't necessarily been for the better. What we've seen and what we experienced and what I'm even hearing on the doorstep, having been out there canvassing, is basically a leadership that has really kind of become disconnected from the people. And that, the idea that one doesn't have an opposition, either from its own backbenchers or from the quote-unquote opposition. People are seemingly in a position where as though they're serving the interest of a small enclave as opposed to serving the interest of the wider community. I've heard instances on the doorsteps, I think it was alluded to in the introduction of this show, of cases where constituents have taken their matters to their representative, to their MP. And again, this is times where I've talked to people with from multiple constituencies. So I'm not necessarily pointing the finger at any one particular person, but where they've said that they've shared issues with their representative. The representative was gung-ho and on board, but when they took it back to their base, because it was against or contrary to what their base or their party was going towards, that whole matter kind of fizzled out and died there. And so it really begs the question for us to really ask ourselves, who are we, and again, you guys alluded to it, who are we as politicians really serving? Are we serving the party? Are we here to protect the party? Or are we serving the constituents and the people who have put us there? So hearing these sorts of issues from individual constituents, after meeting with representatives from a group of taxi owners, after meeting with representatives from the fishing association on the island, and then also after even reading and seeing most recently in the newspaper from the teachers, these groups, we have various entities that are singing a similar song, that we have an administration and leadership that are not listening to them. They're not respecting their input within the respective field of expertise. We have people who are fishermen for a living or on the waters regularly and are an afterthought when we're looking at implementing policies with regard to our waters. We have, teachers who are feeling as though, in some respects, they're not also being fully engaged in the changes in the education system, so feeling a bit out of place and ill-prepared to deliver the lessons to our students. So we're hearing time and time again from these groups that are core parts of our society, and from individuals who make up our society, that our messages are not getting heard, and our messages, our concerns are not being addressed by the present administration. And hence why we can sometimes see a bit of a disconnect with some of the things that are put forth in terms of idea, and then when we look at what is actually being taking place on the ground. So as the FDM, what can we do about it? We feel within the FDM that we can actually be the voice of reason and the voice of the constituents in the House of Assembly. If we are able to get elected and get our members in there, we would be fearless in voicing the concerns of the constituents. We oftentimes like to see ourselves as the courageous truth speakers that our democracy so desperately needs, so that we can have a bit of a balance in the House.
Got it.
Wow. Wonderful. Also, I just wanted to say, Quinton, my mom's family is also from St. George's. So yeah, maybe our people have probably been hanging around together.
Hold on. I know this ain't the time of year, but both of you have St. George's roots, but both of you are Somerset fans for Cup Match?
Well, I have my family's Somerset and St. George's, so I have this.
Time changes.
How Uncle Clarence feel about that? All right, now. We'll come back to that conversation. Sorry, go ahead.
Quinton, you touched on this. You touched on this a bit, actually, just in what you're saying, and speaking about St. George's and your history, et cetera. And you're going around from doorstep to doorstep. You've actually just spoken about, so eloquently about, what their expectations are, what they're feeling, how they're feeling unheard. What, in regards to C2 specifically, what are you hearing on the doorsteps is the most concerning for your constituents who are living in C2?
All right. I mean, in some regards, there's a bit of a spillover between specific C2 and national issues, i.e. the roads, railroad trails. So that is kind of specific to our roads, and it's also nationally. But now, in particular with C2, one of the big issues, particularly those with young people, is around education and around the closing of the St. George's Prep. And, just wanting to gain a better understanding as to how and why we got to this decision. Obviously, we want to believe that our decision makers are making decisions based off of data, based off of research, basically making decisions that can be well defended. But on the doorstep, many people are kind of questioning why did they chose to close a school that was actually performing quite well. So they're really concerned about what is going to happen with the education system, and with the various changes and back and forths, it creates a bit of instability and anxiety for young parents, and even for the older persons who have grandchildren and are concerned about their future. So that's one of the key things, the education and what's going to happen with the schools in the area in particular. The other thing that I'm hearing a lot about just has to do with the town of St. George. We do have a number of vacated businesses in the town. So just kind of addressing that, looking to kind of spruce up the town a bit, and also having some things that also ensure that the town is catering as much to the tourists that will come through, but also for the locals, so that even when the tourist season is quieting down, we are still catering to the local population. And then, in terms of specifically for C2, the other stuff is national.
Fantastic. And what would you say to those who claim that the FDM doesn't support social justice?
Well, the idea is that the first thing you have to do is define social justice. Right. And based upon the definition of social justice, I think we can then better answer that question. But we all have our own respective viewpoints and respective opinions in terms of what is most pressing and the most pressing issue to oneself under the umbrella of social justice. But I mean, as I've already said, I joined the FDM because I feel as though I found like-minded individuals. And I just, in my campaign, as much as possible, I'm just asking people and the constituents just to look at my record. What I've done in Bermuda prior to leaving for Ghana, working with young people, running the Bermuda Junior Golf Association, putting on youth camps, running boys-only camps around historical and social matters. What I did in Ghana for the young people there, what I'm continuing to do here in Bermuda for, again, young people who have potentially fallen through the cracks. And again, I'm saying I found like-minded persons within the FDM. So depending on how we define this concept of social justice, we can then better answer the question. But I do believe that as a group, as an entity, we are definitely ticking boxes that will fall underneath that umbrella of social justice.
Indeed. Thank you for that, Quinton. We've got quite a few in the audience. Let's go to the audience and see what they're saying. Well, we've got Ellen Kate Horton. She says, a good choice. I'm pulling for you. And she also said, hey, but his daddy, my cousin, played for Somerset. And we have another one. We've got Charles H. Jeffs II. He says, if you win, Quinton, you will have to publicly denounce your support for Somerset Cricket Club for cup match. Are you prepared to do that seriously, though? Has that been an issue that you're not a person who lives in St. George's, basically?
It's a great question. Interestingly enough, I'm really blessed and I'm really honored that each day I've been out canvassing, both my mother and my father have joined with me. So on the doorsteps, yeah, sure, I have the Somerset Cup Match open batsman and wicketkeeper, my father. But I'm also taking with me a lady who grew up in St. George's, a lady who has histories of running little popsicle sticks in the gutters after a rainstorm on Queen Street with her brothers and with her friends on Peggy's Lane, right in the heart of St. George's. So with my parents by my side, it hasn't necessarily been a huge issue. If I'm saying that it never came up, I'm lying to you. But definitely having the support of my parents, and in particular having the support of my mom there, who can really speak to and can actually been able to reconnect with a lot of old faces, people who she hasn't seen for a while, has really kind of helped to ease that particular matter when we're knocking on doors.
Indeed. We've got Quinton Trott. He said, Mr. Sherlock visited my home over the weekend with his father, and I was impressed. We had a good discussion, and I wish him all the best. All right. Can't say he's not doing the thing. Karen Simmons, she says, morning, Quinton. As a candidate for a party, FDM, how would your input be different than what is happening now in party politics? Are the FDM candidates more like independents within the party structure?
All right, I think that one thing that helps to distinguish the FDM candidates from the independents is that, we do have our position. You know where we stand on certain matters. If you can go online to fdmbva.bm, and you can see our respective positions on critical matters that the island is facing. Versus the independents, and again, my understanding is that they each would have their own perspective, quote unquote, policy on those respective matters as you go through the list of independents. So I think that being within the FDM allows us to put forth a more unified perspective and a more concise position on matters that are very important that the island is facing.
All right. We've got Charles H. Jefferson II. He's asking, many believe that C2 has at least two very good candidates. With that, besides the constituency and national issues, is Mr. Sherlock hearing constituents struggling to determine who to vote for?
Great question.
I can say yes to an extent. We are having some quite interesting conversations on the doorsteps. Persons are saying that they might have an inkling of what they're not going to do, but indeed what they will do, whether they're just kind of a bit unwilling to kind of be as forthcoming with that personal information. But yeah, there is a bit of dilemma. We are hearing that people are wanting change. They are wanting persons who are going to be able to make an impact and make a difference. And that's ultimately what they want. They want to see something different. They want to see a change. And yeah, they're not necessarily sure what they're going to do, but I oftentimes hear that they're happy I came by, a bit of a breath of fresh air and some good energy.
Nicole Walker does say, St. George's welcomes you, Cheryl, the community and the club.
Yes, good, thanks.
Quinton, one of the concerns, I know we had the chairman, Omar Dill, on, and Sancha did say, she questioned after the 2020 election, and this has come up quite often with the FDM, that the FDM went missing, right? If you're unsuccessful at the polls, how do you and the FDM plan to stay engaged this time?
Mm-hmm. Well, I can speak to the fact that, like I say, I'm already in a position where I'm looking to be committed to that area, to that community, with or without the politics. I believe that as an organization, as FDM as an organization, we are definitely building some momentum. And again, with our chairman, Mr. Omar Deal, and our committed members, our intention going forward is to kind of really consistently have a presence in the community so that we can continue to be felt within our respective areas of influence.
All right. And we've got Shamari Sky said, the best thing about FDM candidates is that they're believable. It's a rare thing in politics to believe the politicians. What would you say? I mean, elections next week, this time, people will be at the polls. What would be your final message if this was the last time you were able to speak with, people who had the opportunity to vote for you? What would you tell them? What would you say to them at this point?
At this time, my message is such that no one can predict the future. We don't know what the future holds. However, one of the best indicators of the future and of future behavior is to look into the past. And I would say that I can stand on a track record that wherever I've been over the last 10, 15 years since finishing my graduate studies, I've been able to make an impact and make a lasting change. When I was a professor at the Bermuda College, amongst other things, I developed and taught the first online course at Bermuda College. Now there's a slew of online courses available for students, expanding our educational opportunities. When I was the president of Ocean View Golf Club, I led a team that went out and collected our history. So today you can go to Ocean View and see the rich history of the Ocean View Golf Club. When I was the president of the Bermuda Junior Golf Association, we organized PE golf in the PE classes for the middle schools and also organized middle school golf tournaments. And then, as I've mentioned, most recently, in Ghana, West Africa, I've been able to develop a program that is now becoming self-sustaining, where I don't have to be there. And young people that I've trained and developed, helped them to develop, are now there running the program. So if my past and my record of making a difference and making an impact holds true for the future, then persons can be relatively confident or assured that if I'm given the opportunity to represent C2 after the election, that I would again continue to make an impact and make a difference where I found myself. One of my uncles from Nigeria, he oftentimes says that, wherever you go, try to be like the elephant, because long after the elephant has left the place, you can still see its footprint.
And just remind people, Quinton, where they can go to learn more about you and the FDM's plans for Bermuda.
Yeah, they can go to fdmbda.bm is our website, and there they'll be able to find our policies and learn more about our candidates that are running in the upcoming election.
Quinton, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for making time for us. Thank you for sharing your story and with the greater public. And I think I speak for many when we say we wish you the best, successful or not. You're better than many of us who haven't put our names forth. I think it's honorable, it's admirable, and I think that whether it's yourself or Tiffany or whoever else, we just want, as we stated earlier, we just really want a certain caliber of candidate representing the interest of the constituencies before anything else. So all the best to you, brother, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and have a good day, everyone. Have a good day, Bermuda.
All right, folks. Quinton Sherlock Jr., FDM candidate for constituency 2. If you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't forget, we're not done yet. We've got some trivia coming up. Don't go anywhere. It's Remember When. We'll be back in about, 1 minute, 40 seconds. Stick with us.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
All right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did you say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lewis Brown Evans? Where do you find that?
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia.
Mommy playing Bermuda Trivia.
Oh, honey, I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game, fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia. All volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Quinton Sherlock Jr. Making time for us, having a conversation. We appreciate all the candidates who come through. Again, every candidate who is running in this election has an opportunity to come on this show. Whether they choose to or not, that's on them. They can reach out to Simone and arrange a time to come on. I believe we'll have a few more candidates this week and then round it off with one final candidate on Monday before Tuesday on Election Day. And if you missed it, we will be live on Channel 82 and all of our social media platforms from 7 p.m. on Tuesday, February 18th to really just have an engaging discussion. We'll have in studio former members of Parliament, Patricia Gordon Pamplin, as well as John Barrett, and former Premier, Dr. the Honorable Ewart Brown, and young social activist, Taj Donville Otterbridge, along with Teo and myself. And then we'll have out amongst all of you, we'll have Mia and Sancha and Simone. So it's going to be a great night of engagement, and we're going to be doing some fun things. Big props to all of those who are supporting us in our efforts. House and NMAC and Barrett's providing refreshments, and Bermuda College, mailboxes. It's a lot of them. So we appreciate them supporting our efforts to connect and engage. All right. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a regular basis. Before we say that, they really love Quinton. Karen Simmons said, thank you, Quinton, continuing to make a difference in all the spaces you are in. Ellen Kate Horton said, definitely a breath of fresh air. And Charles H. Jefferson II says, I love that quote about leaving a footprint. All righty. It's time for the daily.
You missed one comment.
What's that?
Win or lose, Mr. Sherlock be leading the St. George's Victory Parade.
He'll Clinton, we need that. The Victory Parade, it is our year. See, I was trying to avoid that. I was trying not to trash talk this year, Mia. See what you did? All right, time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, are you ready, Mia?
I'm ready to rock. Let's do it.
You better get this right. You better get Mia. Honestly, if you get this wrong, yeah, Gunnar, James, put her on the couch for a month.
Oh no.
Audience, you better get this right. All right, here we go. Mia, audience.
Yes.
It's a remember when. Little Bermuda history.
Okay.
What year did the Sea Venture shipwreck?
1609.
I thought you was gonna be on the couch, girl. I thought you was gonna be on the couch, man. Gee. Whew. I thought audience, she went quiet for like 2 seconds. I thought she was, yeah, Auntie, yes, yeah, she got it. Yeah, any Bermudian who didn't get that, I'm gonna tell you, you belong on the couch. Put Suzanne, who would always say she doesn't know something, knew it. So, Miss Horton found it. Be honest, Miss Horton. Anyone who doesn't know that, they deserve to be on the couch. Let's be honest.
Yes. We actually have a fragrance at Cassine called 1609.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that my mom and I developed. It's beautiful. It's like a cedar fragrance. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Go check Casino. Let's see what the 1609 smells like, folks. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, let's wrap it up, Mia. We've got to run. I've got a dentist appointment this morning. Yeah, I'm telling you all too much about business. But
okay,
yeah.
That's good. You're taking care of yourself. Health is your wealth.
Yeah, I guess. But I don't like those people. Anyway. So let's
today too. I was like, no. I can't make it today.
No, I have to go because I feel like if I don't go, I'm gonna have a dirty mouth. But
yeah.
As you get older, yeah. But let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on the discussion this morning. We spoke about the politicians and hardworking people, whatnot, and then obviously the conversation with Quinton.
Wow, I mean, this morning's discussion was amazing. Audience members, you guys are wonderful, and you brought so many thought-provoking opinions to the chat this morning. I, really am thankful for everything that you contributed to the conversation this morning, and I really loved what you had to say, Jamal. And I also, as always, I always really do try to think about putting myself in other people's shoes and just really try to empathize with people who are putting themselves out there, putting themselves in the public realm. But what I do think, and there needs to be accountability, accessibility, and there needs to be transparency. And if you are working hard and doing the work, then all of those things should be readily available to your constituents. That's my thoughts in regards to the hard work. Mr. Quinton Sherlock, first of all, I love your name, Quinton Sherlock, such a cool name. And I didn't know the history behind you. Having this conversation with you this morning has been so refreshing. It's been very uplifting and very hopeful. So thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us this morning. It's been wonderful to have you.
Indeed. And I want to go back to the discussion. As far as the hardworking politicians, again, it's not to be critical of anyone. It's really for us as individuals, the electorate. When Mia said manage your expectations, so many things went through my head, because while we put expectations on others, it really is on us.
Yes.
Many people will go to the polls next week and they'll vote. And then they won't do anything between then and the following election, whether that be 3, 4, or 5 years later. It's on you to hold your politicians accountable. It's on you to ensure that they're working for you. It's on you to ensure that they are the definition of what you deem hard work.
Yes, absolutely.
Your job as the electorate. As far as the conversation with Quinton, look, St. George's constituency 2 has at least 2 great candidates, as Charles H. Jefferson II said. I think Tiffany and Quinton, if either one of them is successful, I hope that they can work together, even though one is independent and one is a part of a political party. I think they both have their hearts in the right place. And I think one of them has a great opportunity. I just hope that when it comes to candidates in spaces like that, they don't take from each other.
Yeah.
We saw it in constituency 36. And again, this is not telling anyone who to vote for or vote against. I'm just saying we cannot deny that we've had these 2 people. This is the only constituency where we've had someone on, at least 2 people on from that constituency. That's why I'm sharing this.
Yes.
Later this week, we will have a second person on from another constituency. But this is the first, actually 2. But this is the first one. And based on the conversations with these 2 individuals, St. George's, you have a difficult decision.
Absolutely.
You have a decision. But what I will say is, based on the conversations with these 2 on this platform, you will benefit greatly. That said, Mia, do you have any daily inspiration?
I do. Seeing it's National Get Your Guitar Day out. I have 2 favorite artists, but Freddie Mercury and Prince. Those are my 2 favorites. And yeah, exactly. So, and Stevie Nicks too. Anyway, and the list goes on. But I picked a quote today from Prince, which is, "Every day I feel is a blessing from God, and I consider it a new beginning. Yeah, everything is beautiful." It's from the one and only Prince.
I was just talking about Prince at the barber shop yesterday, man. My barber, I think they took him out, man. he was on one yesterday. And they're talking about, obviously, because his Super Bowl halftime show is considered one of the greatest ever.
It's the greatest.
When he passed away, I was in Minnesota, I think 3 weeks later. And I went to his home.
Wow.
And I got a bunch of Bermuda stuff. They had places where people were leaving flowers and stuff. And I left a bunch of things, Bermuda memorabilia there, to show that Bermuda loved Prince too. So thank you for sharing that, Mia.
And I had a moment yesterday in Lindo's, actually, when I was buying pesto. A lady and I were singing Raspberry Beret together. So there you go.
It was playing in Lindo's?
Playing at Lindo's. Okay, Lindo's.
Which one? Warwick or Devonshire?
Well, we could call it Windows if in our family. If it's Warwick, it's Windows. If it's Devonshire, we call it Dindos.
You are at Windows.
Windows, yeah.
All right. Big up Bermuda Communications Group having Prince playing in Lindo's and playing in Windows. Sorry.
Windows.
Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we continue to do our part to improve our community. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a regular basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with tomorrow. She's Mia Chambray. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. Art is out. Peace.